2 years ago, Jim Beam introduced what has become one of my favorite rye whiskeys on the market in the form of the Old Overholt 10-year cask strength. Dynamite 10-year-old whiskey coming out of, Claremont there. Actually, does it come out of the Claremont distillery? Yeah, that's what I thought. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself. I should have spoken with confidence and gusto, because then you would respect me more. But anyways, that bottle in 2023, a killer rye. And this is my third bottle of it. That's how much I like it. 2024, they dropped the 11-year. Okay, it's going to be like a trilogy here. So the 10-year in 2023. Last year in 2024, they did the 11-year. Admittedly, not my favorite. I feel like this was a considerable step down from the 10-year. But this year, in 2025, we have the 12-year. Okay, so this is the whole trilogy, 10, 11, and 12. So I don't have the bottle yet. It hasn't made its way up here to Michigan, but DMC was generous enough to hook me up with some whiskey from his 12-year bottle that he managed to find. So very grateful to you, brother. What we'll do is we'll do just a quick flyby on the 10 and the 11. We won't spend much time on them, but just sort of refresh the palate on the tasting notes. And for comparison's sake, that way when we try the 12, we'll have the other two like fresh on our mind to really decide how it stacks up in comparison to the other two bottles. Now, they were doing some really interesting escalator warehouse, experimental aging stuff with these barrels, where they move them around to different parts of the warehouse vertically. Okay, floor 1, floor 4, floor 2, floor 3, that kind of stuff. So a little bit of experimental aging process there, which I think is kind of interesting. But I don't know if that's just a novelty thing or if it does actually have a dramatic influence on the way the whiskey tastes. I don't know how that would be different than just taking a barrel from the fourth floor and a barrel from the first floor and then blending the two into the batch. I really don't know. But anyways, that's what they're doing. That's enough talk, though. This is going to be a high corn mash bill rye whiskey. So it's a rye, but it's like barely legal rye, right? Does that make sense? Anyways, this is the 10-year. Nose gives me strips of leather, a little bit of like a really aromatic sweet cigar on the nose as well. A little bit of yellow fruit, like maybe an apricot or nectarine, something like that. Beautiful nose. Let's get in here. Cheers. Sweet, delicate fruit right up front, followed by a wave of honey and spice. That's where that sort of leather and tobacco comes along in this big, hefty wave. And it doesn't crash, it slowly subsides into a nice long finish that sort of reminds me of like an antique shop and honey. Lovely. Onto the 11-year. The nose of this one is just dramatically different and considerably less complex. I get some of those same like antique store qualities on the nose. Makes me think of almost like potpourri or walking into an antique store where there's pieces of wood furniture that have stood the test of time, and they carry that kind of dusty aromatic quality to them. I also think of this is going to sound gross, but like slightly chewed bubblegum. Still got some of that bubblegum flavor to it, but it's not big and bold. Does that make sense? It's been diluted just a little bit. Well, let's try it. Cheers. I mean, it's not bad, right? I think that antique store vibe is really what defines the palate on this one. But you lose a lot of those yellow fruit qualities. And I also don't get that wonderful dark tobacco and leather note that we get on the 10-year that I think keeps it really well balanced and gives it good shape and body. All in all, I think the 11-year is just overall pretty unimpressive. But here we go. Moving on to the 12-year. I gotta say, first thing I noticed about the 12-year is look at that color. That's beautiful. Oh, I should note proof points, by the way. 10-year is 121. 121. The 11-year is 107.4, 107.4. So considerable drop in proof point there. The 12-year is 117 proof, so kind of splits the difference. It's closer to the 10, though. 117, 117. Master Chief proof right there, Master Chief. The nose is a lot more sweet oak forward. Think of brown sugar and oak on the nose. Thankfully, we're getting some of that sweet tobacco back that we got on the 10-year. It's coming back around here in the 12. There's an earthy quality to it, but there's also, I'm going to say like coffee grounds going on as well. Quite nice on the nose. Let's try it. Cheers. some sweet old-timey candies, and definitely this anise, licorice, black licorice kind of a vibe going on in the palate as well. But the finish kind of wanders into some cherry territory that I really wasn't expecting on a rye. Yeah. But I get a little bit of sweet cherry on the tail end of the palate stretching into the finish. Second sip, it is somewhat sweet and medicinal on the front end, right? Very tannic and a little bit bitter. And then there's a wave of sweetness that follows it to give you some immediate relief from that bitterness. It's like it slaps you in the face and it's like, oh, my sweet baby, I love you. You know, and you're like, I don't know how to feel right now. Like it sort of gives you a swift kick in the crotch and then a gentle kiss on the cheek. And it just leaves you a little bit confused, like, I don't know if I enjoyed that or not. Subsequent sips, that bitterness on the front end gets, it tames out a little bit, right? Tames out a little bit. Much sweeter on subsequent sips there. Yep. All in all, I think this is actually pretty tasty. I would not be upset about having this bottle on my shelf. If I ever saw it, I would buy it, right? I really like the Overholt profile in general. I still think my favorite is the 10-year. I think the 10-year just brings the most balance, the most gusto, and all in all, just the most enjoyable sip. This one is considerably better than the 11-year. This would take the second place for me. I do quite like it. I like anise. I like that black licorice vibe on a whiskey, as long as there's some sweetness there to give you some relief from the bitterness. And this one has that. But I still think the 10 year is my favorite, followed by the 12, and then the 11 in last place for me. And that has been the Old Overholt 12-year. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by leaving a like in the video, because that's the best free way to support the content right here on YouTube. Hey, big shout out to each and every one of you who tunes into my videos and watches. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. And if you want to get to know our community, you can check out the link to our Discord in the description. It's totally free to join. And there's just some wonderful people in there that are very helpful. They like to share pictures of what they're sipping on, of their collections, what they're hunting, and sometimes we even like to get together in real life. I've gone to bottle drops with a number of these guys. I've been to Kentucky with some of these guys and done warehouse tours and distillery tours and tastings and all that kind of stuff. We have a good time, right? Come say hi, introduce yourself. If at that point you decide, I like these guys, I vibe with this community, then I would encourage you. You can check out our Patreon group. The base tier is just $1. It's basically free, just to get in the door and see what kind of stuff we do and how our Patreon lounge operates, all that business. But anyways, thanks. Appreciate you. With that, I say cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.